here today. Thank you so much. But I had a question. Did you have any specific movies that inspired you to get into horror to start your acting? Or while you were preparing for your role, did you research or watch any of those videos to be inspired?
I wouldn't say that Halloween, for me, as a huge horror enthusiast, you can, as David mentioned, thank you, you can read my list in Fangoria. But Halloween was not the one that like really did it for me. I'm much more Black Christmas in that vein. But I will say for Terrifier, what I was trying to do was kind of like reference PJ Souls' character in the original Halloween. And I think maybe that's like, I don't know if that comes through, but that was kind of what I was thinking, because I think, or I know in those films, John Carpenter and Deborah Hill were really involved in the women's lib and civil rights movements, and Michael Myers is supposed to be a metaphor for that. So I thought what Damien was doing in his kind of like obvious referencing to those films was kind of a really cool choice. And this like blonde archetype of this silly girl, but the girl who knows who she is and is very sexually empowered and aware of herself, being punished for that was a really like powerful thing. And then Damien takes it a step further, and she's punished by the very biological thing that makes her female. So that's what I was trying to pull from there. I don't know if that registered, but that was the reference there.
PJ Souls, just in general.
Yeah, I mean, you can reference her in anything. She's an amazing woman.
For me, Vicky's taken a very long kind of journey, and it just reminded me, Damien, I remember, because I've been thrust into horror through Terrifier. I wasn't born into horror. I've always kind of watched it here and there, but I really fell in love with it through the films and through meeting people at the conventions. But when Damien first was kind of giving me ideas for Vicky of like kind of what he wanted in the world he wanted, I remember he sent a clip from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't remember exactly the character that it was, because it was 10 years ago. And I was traumatized from even seeing that clip. But so that was like how the initial kind of Vicky inspo was inspired, and I then drew from my own experiences and my own and just being an actor. And then for 3, it was obviously a different turn, and 2 references that Damien gave me were Betty Davis in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, which was an unbelievable film for me to watch for the first time, and her acting is just insane. I just highly recommend it, and that was a lot of inspiration, influence, and one that I absolutely loved that I discovered wasn't necessarily horror, it was Harry Potter. It was Helen Bonham Carter, who was an amazing actress, and Bella Beatrix Lestrange, and her cackle is just something, because I was like, how the hell am I going to do this cackle? Like, I can't even practice in my apartment. I tell people all the time I would sound like a nut job to my neighbors. So she was definitely a major inspiration, and those are kind of the references that I drew from for Vicky.
Thank you.
Awesome. We'll go over here.
Hi, I'm Adam from Boston, Massachusetts. My question today is a short 2-parter. I'd love to know, has there been any moments on set that you or someone got really sick off the gore you filmed?
Oh.
Or
You have seen these movies, right?
Who hasn't gotten
well, since being around blood and gore all the time, is there anything that does gross you out or make you sick?
What was your name again? I'm sorry.
Adam.
Can we all say, hi, Adam?
Hi.
What's going on, Adam?
So many of you we forget about.
Yeah, I love everyone saying their names and where they're from.
I've got my
And by the way, Adam's had great questions. I think we've asked a question at every panel, or almost every panel. They've all been good. So, yes. Keep getting in line, please.
Nothing on set grossed me out because it was so cold. I was so miserable. That's probably what I was thinking about the whole time. No. But every scene that I watch in the movie as an audience member, I have to cover my eyes. Otherwise, I will vomit and I will pass out all at the same time. Probably I'll vomit as I passed out somehow. But yeah, that's very true.
I've only watched the original film like all the way through twice. And one time it was like at one of these. I'm not kidding. Like I have not gotten through it all. It's hard.
There's the infamous story about me in part 3 where it's the rat scene.
The rats were bad.
Yeah, that's the scene that finally broke me, and I think everybody on set was having a lot of fun with that because of it. They're like, we finally broke Dave because I can't stand puke. I can take blood, I can take guts, I can take poop. That's no problem. Puke, nope, no thank you, no. And we had the most vile, disgusting smelling concoction of like cream of mushroom soup with some other stuff in it. And
Why was it cream
It's
of
not-
mushroom?
I don't know!
Cream of mushroom soup doesn't even smell that bad.
But
Why
they
was
put
that-
stuff.
Like, why
It's
did,
like what they had for
why did we have to do
Gross. And they put other stuff in it, and the house was really hot and stinky anyways, because a bunch of man sweat in there the whole entire time. And then Sam comes down and just wants to gross me out more, and she's eating this horrible smelling bag of corn nuts, getting right up in my face and breathing on me. And I'm like,
having
hi,
a snack?
how are you? What's wrong? And I'm, my makeup artist Heather's on the side, she's like, don't you dare. Don't you dare puke. Don't you dare puke.
She's gonna have to clean it.
Yeah, and Heather's scary. I don't want to make Heather mad. I'm trying. And they're like, and I'm like, can someone just come in and fill in for me, be my arm or something? Like, no, Dave, your face is totally in the shot, so you got to be there. My face was not in the fucking shot.
They just want to torture you.
Yeah.
Yes, we wanted to
Yeah.
do David.
And I agree with the rats. That was disgusting. I'm the same way. I can't do puke. That The Exorcist when she's like dribbling down her face. That's a lot for me. Gore doesn't do it, but like that.
Dude,
No.
as much as I love like the Jackass movies, anytime there's a puke scene, I'm like, oh no, not again. No. Even the new Conjuring movie, I was like, oh, dang it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm JC. I'm from New Hampshire.
Wait, everybody.
Hi, JC.
Hi.
Okay. So, I was wondering, which Terrifier movie was your favorite to film and why?
The second one, because it's the only one I'm in.
That's easy for someone.
One, because I had a face.
I'm only in one.
I say part 3 because first of all, I love Christmas horror films, and I felt like part 3 is where I had the most freedom to really experiment and play with art in a lot of scenes, especially the bar scene. That's my favorite scene I've filmed, period, and so that's also my favorite death scene in the franchise because I just had fun torturing Danny Roebuck. And it's like between him, Brad Stryker, and like Clint Howard, it was just, Damien's like, I have words on this paper, but you guys just play. And so we just played for a few days and just craziness happened, like especially with Danny when I'm torturing him, he's just making up that whole entire story about his family and everything. He's just giving me so much gold to work off of, and I was having so much fun. I was like, and even Damien's like, this, like when we're doing the mall scene, he's like, this is some of the best work you've done, and like, because when we're doing the mall scene, we filmed it in an actual mall, and so we had a whole audience of people upstairs watching us. So it was like, I felt like I was back on stage again. So I was like, I have an audience. I have people to perform in front of right now. I'm having fun. So I was like, let me just do my thing, and he just let me do my thing, and I just had a blast. So
Actually, I'll take that back. Damien does put me in all of the films. I'm just never on set.
Yeah, my voice was in that mall scene, but I wasn't there. Yeah.
So Damien's the best. That's awesome.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Chris from Gardner.
Hi, Chris.
I have 2 questions. What's your favorite scene in the movies? Not even just that you've shot, just favorite in general, and your regular coffee order.
Black coffee, hot. My favorite scene will always be in the second movie, the car scene, when they're like, it's right before the Art comes and kills that one guy, rips his appendage off. I love that scene so much. I think the 2 actors in it just are so genuine. I love the connection between them, and I'm like, damn, that's just a good acting moment. It has nothing to do with the gore, the horror. I just was so invested in like their relationship and the story they brought to it. So yeah, always impressed with that one.
Cold brew, nothing in it, besides ice, which is a given. I love the opening sequence of 3. I think that's such a amazing setup for any horror movie, and Chrissy Fox is just perfect, and the whole family, but Chrissy especially, and you don't even see much, and yet it's just as visceral and violent and horrific, so that's one of my favorite sequences.
And Chrissy is just another badass
Oh,
woman of the
love
Terrifier
Chrissy.
franchise, who produces and does like all kinds of
Everything.
stuff. And, yeah.
Right.
She's
Just
great.
super talent,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know about these guys, blacked like their soul coffee orders. Actually, I watched this interview with John Cena, and he drinks flat whites, so now I drink flat whites with maple. It's fucking delicious. Like, that man knows the coffee order. It's amazing. I didn't even know what this was until this man. That's what was in here today. It was delicious. I don't even really know what a flat white is, but he's like an enthusiast. You know what I found out? Speaking of like, Chris, I don't know, this is a giveaway, maybe spoilers. I don't know. I think I can probably say this. So I worked with Chrissy and Spider. Spider One directed a film that I'm also in, and we had to use my my legs for something. And the same effects team who worked on Terrifier 3 did this movie, and we don't have we didn't have my leg for whatever reason. So my leg in this scene, without giving too much away, is actually your neck, David. I found this out last night. My thigh is David's
He's
neck.
so white, how does that match your
I
skin?
don't know, but I just found this out last night, and I was fascinated by this. So I feel like we need to do a circumference test. Anyway, what was the question? What was another one? Oh, I have ADHD. I think what are we talking about? I think the pizza scene was my favorite. Mostly because it was warm and we got fed that day.
Yeah, definitely. I like my coffee like myself. Sweet.
Is it also a
No, not a flat white. But it's a vanilla latte with a lot of sugar in it, so it's all sweet. Yeah, but I would say like, I mean, of course, I love, as Leah was saying, I love that scene in part 2, but like, and of course the opening, part 3, and the pizza scene, those are all some of my favorite scenes too. And I think my other scene that I was not in is the cafeteria scene in part 3 with, of course, Sienna, Jonathan, and Mia, and Cole. Is like, I think that scene itself, when Damien showed me, I was like, this is such a great acting moment, especially with Lauren in that scene. She's just fantastic. It's like, that's something I love to give props to in part 3, is how Lauren, because none of this was shot consecutively, so her character is progressively getting more and more unhinged and insane as the movie progresses, and there's a whole reason for that as we find out at the end. But how she was able to just dial in at certain moments what area of insanity she had to be at, and that's the scene where she kind of snaps for a second. And I just loved her. That whole entire scene is just such a tense, scary, emotional scene, and I just think it's an incredible bit that they filmed there.
So I just want to ask quickly, because you mentioned John Cena. And you
I didn't see that coming.
Not wrestling.
And you mentioned James Gunn a few minutes ago before that. I mean, I suppose it's probably rather obvious, but if you had your pick, is there another DCU character that you would want to do?
Other than, of course, Joker, which is my dream role, and that's my passion project, really.
And I think we've all successfully fan cast that, so
Yeah.
James Gunn.
Put me in coach. But I would love to play Plastic Man. I think he would be fun too, because I think he's a fun character.
We haven't gotten many live action. There was
No.
one in the Arrowverse briefly. But
Yeah, but that was elongated, man. That was not Plastic Man.
Elongated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, I love you so much.
But if not Joker, I mean, because another crazy character I think would be fun to play, tackle would be like the Creeper as well. because he's like kind of like the Joker, but he's a hero. He's a lot of fun. Jack Ryder. So he's.
I got to be backstage with James Gunn at San Diego.
Oh, you hush up. You
Uh,
hush up.
Well, because he comes from before Terrifier. I worked on for this company Trauma Entertainment.
Yeah.
That recently
This is a place where you can drop that.
that recently re-released The Toxic Avenger, and he was I was there to celebrate Lloyd's 50 years of filmmaking, and also for the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes reboot, which I'm also in.
Yes.
And it was really wild because Lloyd, so James, myself, and Trey Parker and Matt Stone were all there, and we all started at Trauma. So it was kind of like a really cool thing to be backstage while Lloyd was getting his flowers. But I will say, when I saw James and Stevie Blackheart and they knew who I was like losing my mind. So maybe we can campaign for San Diego Comic-Con next year to all be backstage together.
Yeah.
We're kidding. We'll plant the seeds for the crossover universes.
Well, see, that's something I've always loved about James too. Is like because that's where he got his start was with Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
And that's why I love how he's always put Lloyd in his movies somehow, somewhere, and I just think that's so sweet of him. That just speaks so much about his character, which I've become so much more infatuated with him as a person. He just seems like an incredible dude.
I think that's like a Lloyd.
Do you want another take on that? Was that?
No, he's just.
Are you putting yourself on tape right now?
Yeah, he's
No.
like, James, will you hire me?
I'm a huge fanboy.
Hello, I am available for work. No.
No, but I think that's what's so cool is that he's been so loyal to the guy that started his whole entire journey, which is so cool.
And he always has his brother and
Yeah.
Michael
Yeah.
Booker and his
he's
got
very
his
loyal
family
to
as
his
people.
I actually think that's like a Lloyd thing, as weird as that is. I know this is like a deep cut that's not Terrifier, so I apologize. But Lloyd is like, he's kind of, he also makes really guerrilla style movies. I think it prepared me a lot for Terrifier, like coming from that universe. But he so champions the creatives that he works with. He takes big swings when no one else is going to, and whatever you want to do, however you want to learn, he just kind of lets you go. And it becomes like a weird, like Pavlovian dog whistle, like Lloyd calls, and like decades later we all go, "Huh?" And I think, so it is this like, it's, I don't know if we're also trauma bonded, or my mother refers to trauma as trauma, so maybe it's like something like that, but I do think that Lloyd creates this like environment of people who are just like fiercely loyal to him, and like carries us through, and so we kind of return the favor.
Pay
Yeah.
that forward, as they say.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I can speak for all of us when I say, put David in the DCU.